So somebody asked me to review the new Halloween movie. As soon as I saw it, and I am perplexed because apparently it's got 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. And even I, watching the movie, had thought that I liked it. And then I'm driving home thinking, why did this happen? Why did that happen? And realize the movie actually was kind of crappy. It made no fucking sense. It was just it was batshit crazy. All right, so I don't want to worry about spoilers or anything like that. So if you're gonna go see the movie, maybe go see the movie. Maybe drop some acid first. Smoke some really laced marijuana, and it'll make sense to you because there was a lot here that did not make sense to me. Let's break it down. All right. So I go, and by the way, I paid for a bunch of people's tickets. I took a bunch of people out. There was like 5 of us who went to go see it. 5, me, my brother, and 3 of my friends. Is that 5? Yeah, I don't know. It's late. It's 1:30 in the morning here. We go to this movie theater. It's a brand new movie theater. Literally just opened up. And they got the fancy reclining seats and all that. Sold out show. I'm sure it's going to make a killing at the box office. Get there, we have assigned seating, so I can't move or change seats. We're all seated and everybody's reclining in their luxury chair. And I go to press my button, and guess whose chair didn't recline? Mine. And I go get the bored teenager in the lobby and say, hey, Snappy, get off the fucking, FaceTime or Twitch bastard bait, whatever you're on right now. Come in here and help me out. He looks at it. He's like, yeah, it's broken. I'm like, well, thank you for that expert diagnosis. And he's like, well, I'll give you a free pass to the movie. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. And so I got a free movie ticket out of the whole deal. And so I had to kind of sit like this the whole way. And the only reason I'm bringing this up before I review the film was because halfway through the movie, I've been sitting up like this the whole time, like a cerebral palsy or something like that. And then halfway through the movie, slowly I feel myself starting to go back, and the seat just slowly had reclined. It was, I don't know, it was some kind of ghost. I don't know what it was. Maybe a big fat ass who died on that chair maybe a week before, even though the theater has been there for 3 weeks. So, okay, Halloween 2018. Starts off with John Carpenter's, well, it starts with this little opening about, okay, these 2 British journalists are going to document the 4 murders, because, they've forgotten every other sequel now, that happened in Halloween of 1978. They're fascinated by it. Now, I kind of thought they were some documentary crew, and maybe they had a TV show. Get this shit. These 2 British people have a podcast. I'm not shitting you. That's their claim to fame. That's who they let go into the maximum insane asylum place to go look at Michael Myers. And by the way, who allowed this shit? They had some doctor that allowed them to go talk to Michael Myers and bait him with a mask. And you saw the trailer, right? So these 2 British people go up there like, hey, Michael, oi, want to talk to us? Michael, want to talk to us? I want to talk to you about the killings did back in 1978. Michael Myers standing there, and he's like an old dude. He's just standing there. He looked like an old biker, like about, I'd say 60, 62-year-old biker just standing there looking pissed. He's chained to a post, because that's what they do to crazy people. They just chain them to little cinder blocks and let them go outside. And then they have that scene that I saw in the trailer that annoyed me, that they do way too much in movies, where it's like, all the crazy people act crazy, but they're not really acting crazy. They're not shitting on themselves. They're not eating their shit. They're not, bashing their face against the wall or trying to cut themselves. They're just going, ooh, I'm crazy. As soon as the British guy pulls out the mask, he's like, Michael, I think I have something you might want to see. I got it from my friend at the DA's office. You're British. How the fuck did you become the friend of the district attorney in Haddonfield, Illinois? Okay. And then the little British girl standing next to him, she didn't even, you'd think she'd record this monumental moment where he's going to talk to Michael Myers, who's just standing there. Of course, why would you try to interview Michael Myers when in 40 years he hasn't spoken since the last series of murders, although he didn't speak then either. He hasn't spoken ever. And they decide they're going to interview him by standing near his little circle where he can't move. It's like each prisoner is tied to the cinder block that's their daylight time when you're crazy. So he's standing out there, and then they move closer to him, and the British guy with the district attorney's office, who maybe he blew the guy in the district attorney's office, like, I really need this interview with Michael Myers. Please, I really need it. No, I'm not giving it to you, man. Get out of here, Limey. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not giving it to you. I'll give really good head. Is anybody looking? All right, fucking yeah. Oh, yeah, you don't even use teeth or anything. fuck, all right. Hey, the girl can watch. So they do that. And then their next stop is they go to, and then I think the credits started. I'm forgetting some things. The credits start, and it was kind of cool. The credits, it was a pumpkin and all that, kind of like, it was like a decayed pumpkin that slowly starts becoming undecayed or whatever. I don't know. It's got John Carpenter's score and all that. And John Carpenter did score this movie, and we'll get to that in a second. All that music from the trailer is not in there. Most of that music from in there is just not in there. There's few scenes where he's walking and the Halloween theme is playing. Other than that, it's just this weird theme that I don't understand. And it was just like John Carpenter was really mad at the synthesizer one day, and he just started pounding shit out for no apparent reason that didn't add to mood or atmosphere at all. So then they go to Laurie Strode's house. And Laurie Strode, that's the problem I have with Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis was awesome in this movie, don't get me wrong. Acting was impeccable. But, like, you would think after this 40 years or whatever, you would know what had happened in Laurie Strode's life. You'd see how it had affected her. What did she do for a living in the past 40 years? Why did she stay in Haddonfield? What was her job? Here's the explanation you get. The two British people go to the house. They're like, and she lives like Jodie Foster in The Panic Room. I mean, she should have been an interior designer with all the fancy shit she did. She could have had Strode security systems. I mean, she's got like shit like, she's got trapdoor rooms, and she's got like a counter in the kitchen that opens up and has like a panic room underneath or something like that. So the British people go there. They ring a buzzer. Now, she's so scared, right? She's terrified. She's claustrophobic. She doesn't want to see anybody. But these British people literally just ring the buzzer, say, "Are you Laurie Strode?" She's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" Like, we want to interview you for our podcast. Podcast. They are podcasters. They're not even from like British BBC or whatever like that, doing a retrospective on the murders. They say, "Yeah, we have a podcast," and then the woman's like, "And we have $3,000 in cash." So Laurie Strode, because she's probably broke or whatever, lets these two British people that she's never met in her entire life into her home. That doesn't sound like somebody who's too scarred. Like, would you? No. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. I'm freaking out right now. It's Halloween. I know he's being transferred on Halloween night to another prison. I'm freaking out. Just get out. Go now. I'll shoot you. I'm crazy. I got a lot of guns now. And she is armed like Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2 to the point that it became ridiculous. She's like 80,000 guns and a submachine gun. I think she had a rocket launcher somewhere, knives, and all this other shit. And so, this conversation with her, like, you want to talk about the past? She goes, no, not really. They're like, yeah, you called him the boogeyman once. That's the one question the British guy has. You called him the boogeyman once. She goes, you don't believe in the boogeyman? He's like, well, I don't know. She said, okay, get out of my house. Give me the money. Literally, that's what she does. Okay, so then we meet her daughter, who's like 40 or something like that. I don't know. And she's got a husband who's wacky and likes to futz around with tools. And, he says witty one-liners, and that's great too. And then you meet the daughter, who's supposed to be the new Jamie Lee Curtis, who I don't know. She kind of looked like one of those girls that would bother you at Bed and Beyond. Or like one of those candle stores. You see her wearing the apron. One of those little teenage girls. She's kind of like malnourished looking, but she's okay pretty. Comes up to you and be like, that body wash is half off. Yeah, you want to smell this honeydew candle? I think it's really good for you. I've got something for your pores. You're like, bitch, go away. I'm trying to shop. Just get the fuck out of here. One of them, if that makes any sense. And she has an estranged relationship with her grandmother, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So then the mom is like, there was no purpose for the mom in the movie, really, other than to be another female potential victim. And she's like, I have a yoga class, but, later on we can go meet your boyfriend at a restaurant. Isn't it fun? And the little girl's like, oh, yeah, sweet. So then she goes meets her friends, the usual teen crew, the stoner kid who likes to blow up pumpkins, the blonde girl who's a potential slut, and, she's just wild and crazy because she's blonde, and so therefore she's just poison. And then the shit, of course, starts. Michael Myers escapes from the bus, and when it tips over for some apparent reason, I don't know if he caused the tip over, I don't even remember. He kills a kid. That's his first kill that you see, like a 10-year-old boy. Like, he starts strangling him, and it's in a reference to the original movie where that girl gets strangled in the car. It's the same kind of shot. Like the little kid's got like this big pistol. Everybody's toting guns in this movie. It's like, is this an NRA commercial or something like that? I mean, I don't know. So yeah, a little kid gets killed, and I was like, that's kind of fucked up, but okay, it's supposed to be darker, so let's go with it. And but it doesn't make sense because later Michael Myers literally runs into two kids trick or treating and just kind of like, fuck it. These kids look nice. The other kid was a little bastard. He wanted to, I don't know. So Michael Myers, he finds the reporters. Like the one girl decides to go to the bathroom, or I think she's taking a shit. I don't know. In the nastiest bathroom in America. And then the British main guy decides to pump gas, and nobody notices the van that's around or the guy in all white walking around the gas station, like right behind them, just walking, just chilling. Like nobody seems to think that's weird. Okay. So then you see it. Girls in the bathroom, they both die. He gets his mask back, and that's how you know shit's going to go down again. And then it just gets weirder and weirder to me. Here was my problem with the movie overall, was that Jamie Lee Curtis does a really job portraying. She's like a fucked up alcoholic. She's constantly twitching and scared, and maybe because it's the Activia, maybe she's like, oh my God, I have to poop. I thought I was just nervous about seeing Michael Myers again, but I have to shit. Oh yeah, I definitely did have to shit. Well, at least we know Activia works. Oh. So then, it was just this whole thing. It became like a family drama almost. And there's lots of killing in the movie, and it's pretty bloody, and they have one long tracking shot. And by the way, they've ruined so much with that trailer. Like the one part we know, when the blonde girl dies, she's going to die because we see him in the closet in the trailer. That could have been a good scare if I didn't know about it, but I did know about it. Michael Myers, basically stabs her to death while the little black boy watches. And by the way, that's how you can tell this Seth Gordon Green, or whoever the other guy was, the one from Pineapple Express, was involved in this. Like the black kid in the movie is like a South Park character. It's like talking like, I've cut my fucked up ass toenails on these motherfucking. It was borderline racist the way the kid was being. Like it was very stereotypical and very weird. And you could tell at this point the movie was becoming like a comedy in a way. And I'm confused, but okay, fine, that's there. And there's just a bunch of killing. The girl, she's going to a Halloween dance, at the high school, because so many high schools have Halloween dances now. Like it's back in the 70s again or something like that. And her boyfriend are going as Bonnie and Clyde, but the big surprise is that he's dressed as Bonnie and she's dressed as Clyde, because it's the year 2018 and there are no genders anymore, and let's twist it around and be controversial. The guy's wearing a dress. It was just weird. The whole movie was weird. That's all I can say about the movie. It was weird. And then there's some weird fat kid who I thought was gay, but wasn't gay, and likes the Jamie Lee Curtis's granddaughter. It was a fuck up thing. I didn't get it. The one person who should have died in the movie was the asshole boyfriend. He took the girl's cell phone. She catches him. She goes out of the gym for a moment to talk to her slutty, blonde friend. It's like, hey, what are you doing? She goes, we're going to smoke weed at this house later with this black kid. He'll be asleep. And then, before his parents come over and invite a guy over to fuck. Oh, hope nothing happens like 40 years ago when that all shit went down. Yeah, it's going to happen again. Bet you're going to be one of the ones that die. So, I don't know. Laurie Strode's granddaughter walks back in the gym, and you see the guy kisses another girl. And then he's an ultra douche about it. When they start arguing, he takes her phone and drops it. What the fuck was that? A vat of pudding? It was like, I don't know. He puts her phone in pudding. Something like that. It's like, yeah. And she's just sitting there like, oh my God, really? I'm like, I'm done with this fucking part already. Well, let's get on with it. So the action does kick up. There's some more murders, blah, blah, blah. Laurie Strode's running around town with a gun. Nobody seems to question that. The police don't say, listen, we got this. Sit down. You are not a cop. They just are like, yeah, let her shoot at things. She shoots randomly you see it in the commercial. She's like, she sees Michael in the top of this one house, and she's like, everybody, go inside. Go home to your parents. And all the little trick-or-treaters are like, who is this crazy old woman with the saggy face? And they run away, and she shoots, but it's his reflection, and blah, blah, blah. And then, and then the end. I gotta talk about the end. Okay. There's a twist in this movie, and I'm not gonna reveal that part. That was so stupid, made no sense. I don't know why it was in there. one character's motivation for something, and again, it was just dumb. Like it didn't feel like Halloween to me. It felt like I don't know what that was. But let's get to the end. So the end's supposed to be really tense, and there are some really good action fight sequences, and Jamie Lee Curtis finds her activity again, gets some more energy before she has to shit. She starts kicking some ass, and it was okay. But then, okay, I don't want to ruin the ending, but they set up a trap for Michael Myers, essentially. And this trap was, like, I'm supposed to think that Laurie, and by the way, why does Laurie Strode have a bunch of mannequins in her house? All she has is mannequins. She has a weird mannequin sex fetish or something like that. She has mannequins, just mannequin dolls all over her house for no apparent reason. Her house is disgusting, by the way. She apparently, Michael Myers, he should have brought a mop when he came because it was gross. And then there's a big long chase scene, all that. And there's this one scene when Laurie Strode's walking around the house looking for Michael Myers, supposed to be tense, and I was just bored. I'm like, somebody attack her already. Like, somebody just fucking, knife her in the pussy. I don't care anymore. Like, just do something. But the very end has the three women getting together and trapping him in this trap that is so elaborate, so nonsensical, that kills him. Although we clearly see he doesn't get killed, and, there's going to be a part 2 or 3 or 4, whatever the fuck this is now. What pissed me off about it was that it didn't feel like a Halloween movie. It felt like this mishmash of what they thought a Halloween movie should be, except for that one lawn tracking shot where he kills 2 people, which was excellent. I give it up. And there were a few scenes that were really good. It didn't have the feel. I thought it was going to take me back to that original 1978 kind of claustrophobic Halloween night. It wasn't even very Halloweenish. Like, there's very few scenes to indicate that it's actually Halloween. The fucking school dance where they could have just been a bunch of, dressed up kids for any apparent reason. A pumpkin here and there, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you didn't get a real fall feel. There wasn't leaves blowing around. It just was disappointing. And and so the movie ended, and that was another thing, was the score was missing. Like, why do they have to fuck with anything if it's not broken? John Carpenter should use his original score from the original movie onto this one, put it in there, and made it good. But, of course, they had to experiment, which is never a good idea. So, yeah. Do I think it was worth my time? Yeah, it was interesting, but ultimately I walked away from it disappointed. I would have rather have seen it to where Michael Myers, and Laurie Strode just basically fucking get it over with. Hey, they're not brother and sister anymore. It's not incest. So why not? Just like that'd be great if she's following him around the house like, Michael, where are you? Michael, where are you? Michael, where are you? He sees her. He slowly takes the gun away from her. She's like, oh. And then Michael just kind of undoes his fly. And then takes his Michael Myers dick out and puts it in her. Just really bucks her up against the wall while he's holding her by her neck with her feet off the ground. He's like fucking her with her feet off the ground. She's like, my balls are finally dropping. This sex is so great. That would have been a good ending. And then he just comes in her and leaves, and she's chasing him around trying to get him to marry her. That would have been good. But yeah, I'm interested to know other people's thoughts on the movie. If you liked it, if you didn't like it. Again, there were some scenes in there that made it really, really worth my time. But overall, I was just kind of like, oh, I could have done better. Like me in sex. Never mind, I said that.